All right, I want to get to the Nets guys who lost to the Pistons last night. They were without KD. He won't be back until this weekend because of those COVID protocol issues. But they also gave up 122 points. Kyrie disappointed after the game. Take a listen.
We're seeing it day in and day out where teams are coming in and punching us in the mouth early, and we're playing catch up. I don't think that we go out every single day of our lives and sacrifice the time in order to be average at anything. You know, I know you don't wake up. I know no one here on this call wakes up to be average at anything that they do. And we look very average, you know, and we have the talent that the eye test presents that we should be dominating. You know, we have the experience in terms of some of our guys that have been through certain things, circumstances to be able to battle through. And we're dealing with a lot of the reality that we're putting this together on the fly. Like we are the team that the NBA put the most games on. We're the team that gets someone taken out during COVID, during the games. We're the team that has to deal with the refs. We're the team that is literally battling against so many odds that at this point, it's not even a reason to continue to comment on them. They are what they are. And as a warrior that I am, and that the energy that I have alongside my teammates, we just have to turn that corner. And we haven't done it yet, but we will. And I'm telling you, the league's going to be on notice when that happens.
Pretty candid there from Kyrie, Jackie, and also a little thing at the end. The league could be nervous when that happens. The Nets have dropped 3 straight. What do you think is the biggest reason for that, and how much of it is, hey, Kevin Durant's not there right now?
Rachel, I feel like a broken record, but I think everybody that's been talking about the Nets says the same thing. It goes back to the defense. Since they traded for James Harden, they have the worst defensive efficiency rating of any team in the league. These guys are supremely talented, but when you let your guard down and play sub-500 teams, to think you can just outscore them every game, that's not going to work. Do you realize they allowed the Detroit Pistons to shoot 70% in the game last night from the paint? You're not going to beat any team when you allow that. Do they miss Jared Allen? Yes, they do. But he's not coming back. So start shoring up your defense if you really want to win a championship. It's time to do it now. Stop talking about it and do it.
Well, you know, it's a lot of things that come from Kyrie interview. It's a lot of things that I could dive into when I look at the Brooklyn Nets. And Jackie, you're right. They can't stop a nosebleed defensively. But when I look at them, Rachel, and I look at this Brooklyn Nets team, it's one word that sticks out to me, and that's accountability. Because when you look at all the teams that formed the Big Three or went on to go on and win championships or be contenders, they bought in defensively, and it started with the stars. Even when I was in Boston, Paul and Ray Allen wasn't considered top-notch defenders, but they bought in defensively because they knew the ultimate goal was to win a championship. So I get it. They may not have the personnel defensively, but it has to come from those guys holding each other accountable, along with Steve Nash and his coaching staff holding them accountable. And look, I'm not in the film session. I'm not in the locker room, but my eye test tells me from playing with superstars and being on championship contender teams and winning a championship, that it's a lack of accountability there. And when you watch teams like the Lakers, the Bucks, the Utah Jazz of the world that are at the top of the charts, that are hanging their hats on the defensive end, you can see the separation. You see guys like LeBron James, Donovan Mitchell, buying in defensively and being the head of the snake on the defensive side of things. So that means to tell me that they're getting held accountable. And I'm watching this Brooklyn Nets team, and they lack accountability.
Well, Perk, though, all those teams you just named are groups that have largely been together for a while. And you know as well as anyone how much continuity helps in this league, especially in this season where everything is kind of thrown up into the air. You heard Kyrie mention all of the ins and outs and stuff that they've had to deal with. They are, of course, not the only team in the league that's had to deal with COVID absences. We just talked about the Heat at length, but it is something that is a factor in what is going on. I'm very curious to see if they bring in more help, because the trade deadline is March 25th. There's certainly an opportunity for them to bolster that roster defensively, and you have to think there's going to be some players around the league who might be interested in joining this team as well. So we will find out how that goes. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.